Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you the basics for using paths in videostar. To start off, what are paths? Here's a zoom in transition without paths. And here's the transition with paths. As you can see, using paths help to create a smoother transition in your edits. I will be demonstrating how to use paths with a simple zoom in transition, since it is very common that paths can be used on any transition. To create a new transition, press New and go to Multi-Layer Clip. Press the number 1 and insert your clip or picture as the first layer. Go to Edit Keyframes. We want the zoom to transition to the next clip. So make the zoom in happen at the end of the first clip by dragging the bar to the end. Use the bar that says size to make the clip bigger and zoomed in. Now you can watch the clip, and as you can see, the clip gets more zoomed in towards the end. Since we are playing with the size, press the small box that has a slash through it by the size bar. If you were doing a transition that did not play with the size of the clip, you would go to the box next to the action you were playing with. For example, if you were doing a spin transition, you would go to the box that says rotate instead of the box that says size. When you do click the box with a slash, you can see that videostar has a selection of pre-made paths that you can use. If we try using a path that has a curve on the bottom, the transition will start off slow and get faster at the end. If we try using a path that has a curve at the top, the transition will start off fast and slow down at the end. You can play around with the many pre-made paths if you want and use one that gives you the speed timing that you want. You can create your own path by pressing Custom. A custom setting will allow you to graph your own path, which will give you more control in the timing and speed of your transition. Press the circle plus button to plot a point on the graph. You can make your path more specific to the timing you want by graphing multiple points. You can move the points around or play around to time your transition however you want. Keeping your path in the graphing box will keep your clip centered and in place. Moving the path line to go out of the graphing box will make the transition action have more movement, therefore making the transition less stiff and appear more flowy. Here's a path that stays in the graph box. And here's the same path but with points that go outside of the graph box. Notice how the path that goes outside of the box slightly zooms out before it zooms in. You can graph the transition path outside or inside the graph box depending on how you want the edit to look, since some paths may look better on specific transitions rather than others. Once you have a path you like, you can mirror the clip and add tracking blur to make the transition look smoother. Now we can work on the second half of the transition in the second clip. In the first half we had the transition happen at the end of the first clip. So now we want the transition to continue by making it happen in the beginning of the second clip. Drag the time bar to the end and press the circled arrow by the size bar to plot the keyframe down. This will mark the original keyframes of the clip, so that when we adjust the size in the beginning it'll return to its original size at the end. Now drag the time bar back to the beginning and adjust the size, so that the clip start off zoomed out in the second half of a transition. You want the clip to start off with the opposite action of what you did in the second clip. In this case, since we ended the first clip zoomed in, we will start the second clip zoomed out. You can use whatever path you want or make your own custom path. Usually, the first half of the transition would be a path that stays straight on the bottom and curves up at the end. And the second half of the transition will be a path that starts with a slant upwards that curves straight at the top. Once you are satisfied with your path, you can go back and mirror the clip and add tracking blur. You don't need to mirror the clip for every transition, but most basic clips such as zooms, spins, and slides are typically used with mirrored clips. And now you have a completed transition. Please keep in mind that this tutorial is for basic two-part transitions. It is important to know how to make your own two-part transition in order to learn how to do more complex transitions. Overall paths are something that you need to experiment with yourself if you really want to make your own transitions. Don't be afraid to try new patterns or look at other editors' path graphs for inspiration. Thank you for watching this video and feel free to comment any questions. Have fun editing.